James Gunn just announced his slate of, well, not the whole slate, but part of the slate, and it has, I believe, 10 or 11 projects in it, half of which are TV shows, half of which are movies. And it is mostly impactful to me, the revelation that we are not fully rebooting the DCEU. We operated on that assumption when we talked about this last.
That's because that was what the big rumor was.
That was
okay,
I'd
garbage, throw it away.
I'd also argue Occam's razor. That's the easiest thing to do. Would just be a hard reboot.
Well, it also
would
made
be.
sense considering that right after Black Adam came out with Superman in it, both of those actors said, hey, just kidding, we're actually kicked out again. We're done.
Which is weird because the Shazam universe is its own little corner.
So
Black Adam's in the Shazam universe. What do you mean?
No, it's not. No,
this is what I'm thinking here, is like, if you're going to reboot it, I'm okay with getting rid of these people. But you didn't exactly reboot it. So this is what James Gunn said. I just want to bring this up before we start talking about opinions. I want to talk about what James Gunn literally just said to somebody on Twitter, which is like how we're getting most of this news.
Yep.
Is the fan was like, oh, hey, are you rebooting the DCU? What's going on? And then James Gunn said, no. Flash resets many things, not all things. Some characters remain the same, some do not.
That's such
a
bullshit.
cop-out.
Yeah.
Also, because, like, think about it. That means we're keeping Ezra Miller, but we're losing Henry Cavill.
Yep.
You're keeping one of the worst people on the planet.
Let me say this.
Not one of the worst people
I'll
on the
say
planet,
this,
but
regardless of if
bad.
you reboot it or not, I don't think they're keeping Ezra, just in general.
They better not.
Even if they stuck cold turkey to the DCEU, they'd still recast him after The Flash comes out. still the
maybe
case.
they're very committed to their rehab. And
Yeah, they're saying that now so that the movie does
And
anything at all.
Gunn's also like, oh my god, Flash is one of the greatest films I've ever seen.
ever made. Best superhero movie ever made.
One of, not the.
I
but
can
yeah.
I can feel the gun barrel being pressed into his back to say that.
The
Flash
Gunn
is
barrel.
really good. Shotgun is not pointed at back of my head.
No, I feel like James Gunn is brutally honest when he has to. He criticized the previous regime at Warner when they dicked around Henry Cavill. He talked about that during the announcement. But yet, he still doesn't hire him, which is fine if you're going to reboot, which you didn't. So let's talk about these TV shows in order. So
Oh, man, all of them. I care about so many, not just one.
First one is Creature Commandos. Has 7 episodes. James Gunn is writing the whole thing. It is in production at this moment with some talented animators, allegedly, and it's going to feature some people in it. Amanda Waller is also going to be in it via
Viola Davis is like the center of this universe.
I don't know why. She was not good in the Suicide Squad.
She
Her
really
character
was.
took a very big step back, in my opinion.
I agree.
From the worst movie to the better movie, she got worse.
The team is set to feature Rick Flagg's dad, Nina
Richard Flagg.
Mazursky,
who doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
Nope.
Dr. Phosphorus.
Dr. Phosphorus, who is just a
Frankenstein
skeleton.
and the Bride of Frankenstein for some reason.
Yeah.
G.I. Robot.
G.I. Robot.
And Weasel, who was in the other movie.
Wait,
also
I'm
still
sorry.
alive.
What is G.I.? Is that like a G.I. Joe and RoboCop? Like, what's the deal with
The answer
G.I.
is it's
Robot?
not important.
All right. Exactly. It's not important.
You're right.
And personally, I don't care for the furry Suicide Squad.
Me
Yeah.
either.
I'm not interested.
I'm kind of 50-50 on it because it's just this like little tie-in show. It doesn't look like it's important. It doesn't look like it's going to have like any big matterable characters in there. Bride of Frankenstein, what a great DC character.
Eric Frankenstein, what a great DC
Yeah,
character.
I know.
G.I. Robot? Fuck yeah.
I get his approach, like, oh, hey, pick characters people aren't familiar with so you can do whatever you want to. That's what they did with Guardians. That's what he literally did with Guardians. So, But, hey, this is definitely not one of the most anticipated things, I guess.
It's probably the bottom out of all of the shows,
Maybe.
which is really saying
Well, I'm
something
glad we're
because
gonna
I
have-
do not care about most of them.
Then I'm glad it's
with you.
first so we can get it out of the way as soon as possible.
Yep.
Waller. This is what's strange.
Are we gauging out of 10 for excitement for Creature Commandos? Are we doing out of 10 excitements or
I think we
just
should
in
just do
general?
overall.
I'm not
No,
excited.
no, I mean, overall, 50-50.
No.
So,
Do not
Probably
care.
not going to watch it.
Waller. This was like the big shock because I didn't realize that Waller was in Creature Commandos until just now. But Waller, when he announced this, I was like taken aback that you're not just starting over because you're starting over with, say, Superman and Batman and Wonder, like all these other people that are
big three.
characters. The big three.
Big three are all restarting.
And
Is Wonder Woman also restarting?
Actually, he has said that Gal Gadot can come back.
Sure.
I don't see the benefit of soft rebooting over hard rebooting.
There isn't one.
There isn't one. So why did it happen?
Because Gunn worked on The Suicide Squad and he fell in love with those characters and he doesn't want to get rid of those characters. He likes what he made.
You're letting your personal bias get rid of good business.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that is what this is. But at the very least, everything else is
Honestly,
out.
I wouldn't be surprised if the higher ups said that you can't hard reboot, because then it just even further shows that the DCEU is just fucking awful.
Yeah, but it's been awful for 10 years.
Yeah,
straight.
But they keep trying to make it not.
They
bad.
made 2 good ones in a row.
When?
Checkmate.
Shazam and Aquaman.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Oh, they did come out back to back. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2018 was their year, baby.
Late 2018 to early 2019.
Yup.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't care about Waller either because
Oh, yeah.
she has dropped as a character.
So keep going with what we said about Creature Commandos. I don't like what Gunn did with Amanda Waller.
She went from someone who was cool, tactical, cold, like
I'm going to say 2
a
things.
force
Screams.
to screaming, belligerent, annoying.
Angry.
I'm going to say 2 things that are going to sound like they conflict, but they actually don't. I love James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I don't give a shit about Waller the show. Because the reasons I like The Suicide Squad is nothing to do with Amanda Waller. If you're
That
going to
doesn't
spin
conflict at all.
Yeah, if you're going to spin anybody off from any of these things,
They already did it.
this is like
Peacemaker.
the least interesting way to go.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't have picked anybody else from The Suicide Squad or Peacemaker.
And I'll point out, the series, I'm quoting directly from the Wikipedia page right now. The series is intended to follow the character after the events of the first season of Peacemaker.
But before the events
but
of the second
before
one.
the events of the second.
Who
What?
cares?
What? This is just Peacemaker season 1.5 then?
So they're
Just
doing
have her be in Peacemaker.
yeah, which she was
Yeah, who
for
cares?
a cameo once. Maybe
I don't
She
know.
shows up in the first 3 episodes.
in the Zoom call, right?
Yep.
Yeah, great.
Just put her in the show.
Who cares?
Ian, I've actually seen the whole season. I still think she's just Zoom calling the whole time.
Yep.
I don't think she actually physically is.
You
in
are
it.
fully correct.
So it's a very strange decision. Is the spinoff just her on a Zoom call every episode?
I guess.
But
Gauge my excitement. Even less excited than Creature Commandos because this is probably going to be longer and live action.
They also said a main character from Creature Commandos will appear in this series.
I hope it's Rick Flag
It's
Sr.
definitely Rick Flag Sr.
Why'd you let my son die?
all right.
I'm a soldier.
So Ian,
Shut
I'm peeing.
I'm gonna go to the next TV show
Please
before
shut up.
before I go to the next TV show. I want to point out for the audience, in case you didn't hear our big talk, which gauged by the views is like double our usual views. So you probably did, but Ian spent probably half of his time speaking talking about how the DCEU, and rightfully so, you're justified, has completely screwed over Green Lantern.
Yes.
We are getting Lanterns, the
10.
HBO Max show.
It's already good.
So
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds can't come back, so I'm not excited. No, I'm kidding. Listen, you get Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, the 2 best ones. It's a detective style mystery of a Green Lantern show. Having like a buddy cop, Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, like that's fucking fun. That's gonna be sick.
I'll be honest, and as somebody who's like obviously a casual fan, I'm not super into it. I'm pretty interested in what the premise
This
is.
sounds fun. It sounds like we're going to get camaraderie between the 2. They're going to have to report back to their higher-ups, which we're going to get even more. It's going to be fun.
If I can weigh in, I think one of the reasons, because I also agree, Lanterns is definitely, of the 3, the one I'm the most excited for. I think that has to do with the fact that Gunn gave some details about what the show will be about. I don't know what Creature Commandos is about. He just gave me a list of characters that I've never heard of. And this is going to be the first project? Like, you're coming out the gate, you're coming out with just a collection of just random names.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm going to make a show about Amanda Waller. And it's like, okay, why isn't this just Peacemaker? But like with Lanterns, I'm seeing the direction that this show is going. I'm being given a little bit to like actually give me something to be like, okay, I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
The other 2 are just names. It's just names of shows.
Here's some Amanda Waller. Here's some G.I. Robot.
You know?
This is a story about Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan trying to solve a terrestrial-based mystery that's almost like True Detective with Green Lanterns. Fuck yeah, that sounds sick!
You know,
Come on!
The most we got for Waller is that
It's between the seasons of Peacemaker.
and that it'll involve her teaming up with Argus, which I don't think Argus has been in the DCEU yet.
Nope, it's been all over the Arrowverse. It's still in the Arrowverse. For
Yeah,
what
'cause
little
they can't do the Suicide Squad.
what little fumes of the Arrowverse still exist, which
Yeah.
are whimpering away by the minute, mind you.
Listen,
Because-
it's almost over.
Lanterns could have said it has Jon Stewart putting on a clown mask and honking his horn for 3 episodes. And I would have been like, yeah, I'll watch that.
Yeah,
So,
you would.
The fact that it sounds fun, the fact that they're doing anything with one of the, I'd argue the 4th most important, maybe 5th, but the 4th most important member of the Justice League.
I'm feeling like 8th.
So, Jon Stewart, except for not even Diggle, hasn't been in live action yet, I don't think.
No.
So this is the debut of the character.
Yep.
So that's pretty
keen.
huge, considering that he's like second to Hal Jordan, the most recognizable Green Lantern.
I'd say the most recognizable Green Lantern, because when you grow up watching Green Lantern, what did you grow up watching?
Well, you did, but the majority of comics have been Hal
It's the
Jordan.
same way that, to a lot of people, the Batman show from the mid-2000s established Batgirl before Robin.
Yep.
So to a lot of people, including myself for a really long time, Batman's sidekick is Batgirl.
Right. Yeah, and that's understandable.
You know,
and
but to most people, Batman's sidekick is Robin.
Yeah.
I think it's really smart to include the two bigs as the leads, because that way you don't upset half the fans.
That way, as well, when you transition over to movies, because this is one thing, you can use both.
Yeah,
can.
that's another thing.
Wow.
Is like the thing with Green Lanterns is there's a lot of them. Why would you limit yourself?
Exactly. It's an expansive core.
Ready? You need a more serious character to balance out the people you have. Boom, I'm bringing in Jon Stewart. Boom, you need a character who's a little bit, not as inexperienced, but he's cocky and a little dumb sometimes, has some fun.
You're describing Ryan Reynolds' version of Hal Jordan.
Yes, but that's Hal Jordan. He's cocky and dumb. Like, him and the Flash go back and forth stupid. They're like the two inexperienced younger ones that get balanced out by the rest of the team. If you need something like that, you have flexibility with both of these characters.
That was the post-credits scene of the unmade Flash movie, was Ryan Reynolds, Hal Jordan showing up and meeting Flash for the first time. I've read a lot of unproduced scripts due to Pyramid Head.
This is the one I'm the most excited for, purely off of what it is, but also purely off of the description we got, because it actually sounds kind of fucking fun.
And I think it also kind of shows that you do need some recognizability.
Yeah, because I
all-
recognize Amanda Waller, but I don't care.
I'm all for giving the C and the D list heroes and characters stuff to do. I think that's one of the reasons that the Arrowverse actually succeeded, is because they made interesting characters out of C and D list heroes.
Yeah.
Yep.
But when you're like, this is the new big reboot, it's like, really? You know, people say, oh, well, Marvel started with their B tier heroes. Yeah, B tier, not D tier.
Well, not
And
for
Iron
nothing.
Man and Captain America are pretty fucking recognizable.
Okay, so I was going to say that, of course, Marvel started with smaller, lesser heroes. They didn't have their bigger heroes.
Yeah, exactly.
They barely do now. They still have to work with Sony, but they didn't have Hulk, X-Men, Spider-Man. They didn't. Well, they actually had Hulk, kind of, but they still kind
it
of
was a
don't.
weird
thing.
no.
But anyway, like, they didn't have any of the X-Men. They didn't have their Fantastic Four. They didn't have the recognizable names, so they had to make lemonade out of lemons.
And I'll still point out, at the end of the day, the original Avengers included Ant-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, characters they did have the rights to.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not like they were like working without
And
anything.
they had the rights to them because they sold off their more interesting, popular ones.
Yeah, no,
that's
I
how
know.
that worked. So that's why they had them left, and they made the Avengers out of them. But that's what, like, that was the process of it. They mined gold out of, like, coal, basically. Whereas DC has not sold one character to anybody. They got them all under their belt, no matter what. Even the CW shows, they can still make more Batman stuff because it's not stopping them. So they have
That's true.
everybody, and they're still choosing to make things like Creature Commandos first. That's
Yeah.
a question mark to me. Although I get that it's like first because they're getting the ball rolling to the bigger stuff. Might as well start small. But like, it's just strange that like of the 5 TV shows and 5 movies, 3 Lanterns are mainstay heroes. You know what I mean?
I think it's just,
I'd say 4.
I think it's a detriment a little bit of James Gunn's mentality with what he's succeeded with.
Also, yeah, James Gunn style. He likes taking the obscure characters and doing stuff with them.
And
Yeah.
it's a good thing when it works, but when you're starting something like that, you have to have some good faith before you do that, and there's no good faith here.
Although to counter my point that I just brought up, the first film is Superman. We're not there yet. We'll get there. That's a smart move.
Yes.
That is a
course.
smart move.
Wow, the smart. It's either Superman or Batman. Pick your fucking poison.
Even the DCEU got that right for all the shit that they went through.
Yeah.
Even they understood that. But in any case,
After Lanterns is something I know a
It's
little
a
bit about.
prequel show about.
the Themyscira, the island nation with a Game of Thrones-esque tone. but
Oh,
not
I
quite.
cannot wait for incest in this one.
I would
What do
assume
you mean
not
Game
that
of
far.
Thrones tone?
Just tone in drama, maybe not tone in like literal
So
tone.
just call it a drama.
I don't know. The show and its setting to Westeros and Game of Thrones is what he described.
That's
it.
What?
neat.
But I don't know. Like, it's the kind of thing where, is it going to be in continuity? It is, because it's a soft reboot, not a hard reboot, right?
Yeah.
But
What? Why? Like,
Why? All right. Why
So
are we
as-
focusing on Themyscira before the birth of Wonder Woman?
if I can also add, as someone who like is probably the most engrossed in Game of Thrones. That sounds awful. Game of Thrones is like this multi-layered, multifaceted series that spans 2 continents.
Yep.
With a lot of morally gray characters.
And thousands of years of...
hundreds of years of history, dozens if not hundreds of characters with their own motivations and goals and stuff. And Themyscira is an island where all they do is train and not shoot arrows, or shoot arrows depending on which version of Justice League you're watching.
But there are gods too.
If it's in continuity, because it's a soft reboot, not a hard reboot, which we keep bringing up, then how long ago is it set? Because Diana is not young, even in World War I. Isn't she super mega old? Thousands? Because Zeus made her.
Few hundred.
Did he make her in the 1600s?
I don't remember.
I'm not 100% sure.
I thought he made her in biblical times or something.
I don't know if they timelined that out
I don't think they gave us a hard date that Diana was born, but...
Or is this something that nobody cares about because Flash is going to take care of it?
I think that's what they're going with.
Yeah.
It's a cop-out. Sorry, it's a cop-out.
We're going to have to see what Flash does because, again, we're still in the dark. But this is still very strange of a decision to make.
Honestly, we're basically where we've been at for a while, which is DC has announced a bunch of stuff.
We are. Except that this is different people doing it, which makes me happy.
If you're gauging my excitement on Paradise Lost, which actually I think is a decent name for it, I'm just going to say...
Sure.
50-50. It could be really interesting, but I need to know more. I don't really have a lot. I just have... It might be like Game of Thrones, and it's on Themyscira.
When it comes to DC stuff, I'm trepidatious on superhero content without superheroes. Of the 4 shows mentioned, there's one that actually stars superheroes. Frankenstein, sorry. But
Rick Flag Sr.
You're telling me
dad.
Dr. Phosphorus or whatever his name isn't a superhero?
Rick Flag ain't no hero, not his dad. But
I'm not a hero.
Lanterns is the one that actually makes sense to do. Everything else is why?
Well, no, Jake. You said what's the next one? Well, you said I'm cautious about superhero shows.
Are we pivoting immediately to? All right.
Yeah, who cares about Paradise Lost? We got Booster Gold.
How does that help?
He's a superhero.
He is a superhero.
All right.
He travels back in time to become a superhero and gamer admiration. Huh?
Wait, what?
Garner.
Oh my God. That looks like an M from here, right?
It does.
No.
Yeah, I'm blind. I have glasses.
That should help.
This is the equivalent of me now going back in time with an iPhone and being I'm a superhero. I can do stuff.
Booster Gold's always been kind of a joke character too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right up James Gunn's alley.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
I know a lot of people are really excited for this one because people like Booster Gold quite a bit. I know multiple people who that's their favorite superhero.
Okay.
I would not say he's my favorite, but yeah,
he's interesting.
I like Booster Gold.
He's interesting.
He's interesting. I don't think starting him outright with his own movie is the way to go.
This one's
a show, or he should be a support in a different.
I would like him to be a support.
Yep.
He's a better support hero than a lead.
I think he is.
But it could be. I'm not going to say Deadpool-esque, but something akin to that.
Sure, softer Deadpool.
Yeah. So I think there's definitely potential for this to be interesting. But like I said about Paradise Lost, I need to know more before I'm more excited than anything.
I think I know a lot of people whose favorite superhero are the Island of Themyscira pre-Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of very strange choices being made.
All right, now hit me with the films.
Let's do it.
This is the important shit.
Boom. Superman Legacy. Off the top. Straight up, this is the correct thing to put in front of the universe. You lead strong. You don't start with the fucking authority. You start with Superman. This makes sense. It's a younger Superman. This is what we know. It's not going to be Henry Cavill. That's all well and good. Kind of. We'll get there when it reboots. But it is not an origin story, which is awesome. It's going to focus on young Clark Kent as he starts working at the Daily Planet, which is pretty cool.
It's kind of like a Superman Year One kind of idea.
Yep. Yeah, it says it's foregoing an origin story. Thank God. I know how Superman starts. He crashes on the planet and lives in Kansas. Sadly.
Well, Matt Reeves did the same thing with his Batman. He was already kind of Batman for a while.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, that's a smart thing to do.
We know Batman's origin story: Gunn, Pearls, Joe Chill. I got it.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess this makes sense. Starting with a Superman movie is smart. Even if it's Henry Cavill, I'm still okay with it. Even if it's not, I'm still okay with it. As long as it's
good,
understood that this is a mainstay character. You can't have a DCEU without your biggest gun. This is the biggest one.
Your biggest gun with
G-U-N-N.
2 N's.
Yep. 2 N's, yeah. So
I'm excited. I'm excited. Wish it was Henry Cavill because he is awesome.
He is.
In the role. He worked with nothing and made something out of it. And I really commend that. That's excellent.
Yep.
That being said, if you're doing a soft reboot and want a younger Superman, I mean, he's not old. He's not even 40 yet. But It's fine.
Yeah, but if this is a different version of him, you don't
Yeah.
want the same guy in there.
Just DH him like they did in the movie where he was supposed to be 18, but he still looked like 30.
Yeah, but Man of Steel was also the younger years. It
Yeah.
was all cut together like Batman Begins. But like, yeah, so I don't know. This is a smart direction to go.
Yeah.
And veering away from the style of the previous DCEU is very smart. of
I'm
them.
excited. We still have time to wait, but I'm
Yep.
excited.
Good.
I got no strong opinions either way. Yeah, it's Superman, whatever. This film doesn't mean anything to me. I really don't have any strong opinions either way.
Okay. I have faith that it'll be good, though.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be decent.
It's not going to be as good as Lanterns, but it's going to be fine.
The Authority. This is the second movie announced. This makes sense to do like a little oddball movie in between the bigger guns, sure. But it's about like the Boys-esque.
Another
team?
group. There's already 2 groups.
Lots of groups.
I am hesitant with the amount of groups we are introducing.
I have no strong opinions because I know nothing about them.
I don't know anything about them. This doesn't give me anything about what they do or what the movie is going to be about. It just says DC Wildstorm's imprint and the Authority. I don't care.
I don't know what any of that means.
I don't know what any of that means.
Who's even in the Authority?
This is word salad to me.
Yeah, it's nonsense. It doesn't matter because you won't recognize their names anyway.
Well, let's see.
I'm telling you, bro.
I want to know.
No, what if one of
Batman's
them-
in here? No.
Fucking, who are these people? All right.
All right.
Let's see here. Grifter. All right, let's go.
Grifter,
Already
engineer, Deathblow. His name is his job.
sold. It's like I'm playing TF2.
Flint. My man's name is Flint. That's his superhero name.
Rainmaker, Swift,
Rainmaker is just Peacemaker, but with rain.
Jenny
So,
Quantum. Yeah, I'm sure this is. Yeah, nobody
and
knows who
Jenny
these characters
Sparks.
are. Yeah, so it doesn't
are there
matter 'cause we
anybody
can't
who
recognize them.
I care about? It's like if the X-Men sucked.
So it's like another obscure team.
This reminds me of everybody 10 years ago when they were like, Guardians of the Who? Who's a Star-Lord? This is nonsense. And then it comes out and it's good. So maybe this can do the same thing. Who knows?
But
Yeah, but I don't
it
know
just feels
anything
like
about what's
Gunn
happening
just keeps
here.
trying to remake Guardians.
Wow, which is my criticism with all of the movies.
See, but you can have the occasional movie that does that as long as they all don't do that.
Well, he's also making a show that does that.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, the occasional show that does that, but don't make them all do that. And I don't think he's going to. So
No, because the next thing we get, I'm not excited for the Authority. The next thing we get is Batman,
Let's
and I
go.
love Batman.
I'm excited. Expand.
And we get Robin, which
Bro.
we haven't really seen a lot of in movies.
Yeah, but it's fucking Damian Wayne. They're skipping.
he's
They're skipping
fine.
Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and Tim Drake.
Oh no, they still have Robins. The only live-action Batman that have had Robins have been the Joel Schumacher films.
some of them
That's
are bad.
almost 30 years ago.
Yep.
So the fact that you have one at all versus the zero in all of the Dark Knight movies, in the only
That's
Matt Reeves
just the
Batman, in
worst.
all the Zack Snyder continuities,
It's
and
the
all the
worst
fucking Tim Burton
Robin.
movies, everything has not had one
I don't know if
fucking
it's the
Robin,
worst one.
and you
I hate
finally have
Damian
one.
so much.
This makes me happy.
It makes
I'm
me
so
happy.
glad you have anything other than Batman in his own Batman movie. That's awesome. There's so much history with 5 or 6 or 7, I don't even know any more Robins, and they got none in the movies, and now they finally
There's
have
like
one.
4 main Robins.
This makes me happy.
This also makes me happy.
I hope that they don't then turn around and not give Pattinson a Robin. 'Cause
No.
I think he should have a Robin too.
No, Matt Reeves is going to do whatever he wants to because he's unshackled by the DCEU, which is cool that he got in that early.
Good, because fun fact, the Batman better than any DCU film.
Hands down.
Absolutely.
We saw
Not
it
even
twice.
fucking close.
We saw it twice before it premiered.
Yep. Fun. I'd watch it 50 more times.
I know.
It's good.
I'm excited for the next
I
3-hour
know
gothic depression fest, baby. Let's
Duh,
go.
bro, it's gonna be like 7 hours long. He's gonna brood and grunt a lot, and I'm gonna be like 10.
Top 5 movies of the year, baby. Let's go.
I know it's stupid to not have a Batman in the DCU, but this one, I'm not looking forward to this at all.
Really?
I'm not looking forward to it.
I'm not looking forward to it because everyone's just going to be comparing the two Batmen all the fucking time.
Well, they do that anyway with everybody.
No, but now there's literally going to be 2 Batmen at the exact same time with 2 different tones and 2 different ideas, and I'm
Yeah, but
not for that because it
hasn't
just
there
feels
been?
like there's just going to be like they're going to be like battling back and forth to be like, I'm going to use this character, I'm going to use that character.
I don't think it's a battle because the fact that they can do the same thing 2 different ways implies that there's no confliction. Like, you can do what you want because you're not in our universe.
I don't know. I think Mud definitely has a point where they might want to use a certain character in, let's say, the Matt Reeves Batman film, and they go, well, we're going to use that in our big universe movie that might make more money. So can you pick someone else?
That was their strategy with the Arrowverse. I think that there was the previous regime, and they were very stupid for getting rid of Deathstroke in the Arrowverse, the best character in the Arrowverse, because
great.
they were gonna make
And
a movie
also
and never
telling
did.
them they couldn't make season 3 the Suicide Squad.
Yup.
They wanted to.
Because they wanted to. I think that was very
Yeah.
dumb because the public knows they're not in the same world, so there's no confusion at all.
Yeah.
But also, it's just 2 Batman live action in the movies anyway. Titans is ending, so it's not like they have like 5. The Lego Batman's not even happening, so they got stuff.
I'm excited. That being said, if this movie and if you can only watch one, the Batman sequel or The Brave and the Bold, I'm picking the Batman sequel.
I'm picking the Batman sequel.
Oh yeah, hands down, because we've seen that.
We've
be great.
seen it's awesome.
We haven't seen any of this. We got neutral territory. We don't know what's happening. But
I'm excited.
based on the one sample size, oh my God, Matt Reeves, baby, let's go.
Yeah, I'm excited for Brave and the Bold. A little bit more tentatively, but still excited. It depends on who they get to direct, really. Because if it's like I want to say like a James Mangold type of guy, I can have it be a little bit interesting there.
We'll talk about
that
him
might
shortly.
be really, really cool. We will talk about him shortly.
Yep.
I'd be really excited. But if it's like, here's Len Wiseman's Batman, I'm gonna boo.
I think James Gunn is a lot smarter than that.
We will see.
We will see.
He's never done that before. That's huge. I would lose so much faith if that happened. But Supergirl World of Tomorrow. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. January 2023 announced. So here she is, and James Gunn said that she was raised with the opposite of Superman's backstory. She was stuck on a random rock somewhere out in space.
Yeah, it's
and
about
lived there.
Supergirl. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm not super about a character that's just a different version.
Superman again.
So
Yeah.
I'll pipe in and say I'm jazzed. I love Supergirl. I think she's more interesting than Superman sometimes. But more importantly, I'm going to fucking soapbox for a second. At the end of Young Justice Season 4, they teased that exact idea of an evil Supergirl. I know she's not going to be evil, but like an anti-Superman Supergirl. And then they just fucking canceled the show again. So I'm excited for this project. I like Supergirl a lot.
I think in your first 5 movies, you should
Have different heroes.
Different hero. I don't know.
That
about
is something I will
recurring.
say I agree with. Really, 2 super family films.
a little bit.
That's a lot.
That's a little
Hey,
bit
look,
too
the
much for me.
DCU had 0% super, so I'm glad they're overcorrecting, if anything. But yeah, I would rather see.
They
It's
have
like
Superman.
it's like the Arrow versus Justice League. There's 2 super.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
There's 2 fucking L's on that. Why?
Yeah.
That makes no
I'm
sense.
not super excited, but I'm not completely against it. It's just I think it's too fast after Superman to also then have another super film.
It's like if the MCU had a War Machine movie.
3 films after Iron Man.
Yeah.
Well,
We still don't have
Phase
a War Machine
1,
project.
because Marvel didn't have a lot of control in Phase 1. They made Iron Man, Hulk, and they had to make Iron Man 2, so they made it a
That's
giant
still- that's-
trailer.
It's the
different.
same character, not a different character.
It's a continuation of
Yeah.
the Iron Man story. It's not, hey, here's Rhodey in his own solo quest doing the exact same thing Tony would be doing.
I see it the same way, though, where it's just more of what we already had. I see. I understand that they had to do that because, they were working with Paramount. They didn't have a $1 billion success yet. They, had executives after Avengers 1. They're like, oh, bet we're in charge of the world, and now they're fine. But now they don't do that anymore. That's awesome. So, we'll see how the ball rolls. And finally, Swamp Thing.
Oh, look, James Mangold. I knew we were going to talk about him. Yes, that's why.
Good. James Mangold is a brilliant director.
I don't know if you guys heard me go, shit, wait, he's the Swamp Thing guy in my head. And then
No, we didn't hear you think something.
no, because I took that pause. Like, if they had a guy I don't know, and I was like, fuck, James Mangold's probably going to do Swamp Thing. Hold on.
James
and then
Mangold,
I said it anyway.
not only Best Picture nominated for Ferrari's Mangold, not only the James Mangold that is doing Indy 5, but the James Mangold that did one of the greatest superhero movies of all time, 2013's The Wolverine.
It's true.
Yep.
Did
But
make
also
that.
Logan.
I also love how Swamp Thing is the last one, and it's the first one to have a director.
Right.
Listen,
Potentially.
maybe he really likes Swamp Thing.
Good.
Yeah.
I will find it very interesting that I find it interesting, I should say, that they picked Swamp Thing, considering, the
canceled
Swamp Thing show.
But the only reason the show got canceled was because of location rights problems.
Yes, I know.
It wasn't like,
But
we
that's
don't
hilarious.
have faith in it. It was, this might cost a little bit too much money because we fucked up real bad.
No, I know. I'm just saying it's fucking hilarious
really
that
funny.
one of the characters they picked just had a fucking show flop because of shit out of their control.
See, this is something where he picks a B or C list guy. I'm fucking excited.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing is cool.
I think Swamp Thing's Swamp Thing is B list. He's just obscure enough that people were like, "Wait, what?" But he's not so obscure that people go,
Who?
I don't care.
Yeah, his name is also very self-explanatory. He's a Swamp Thing.
And it's a horror movie, which will be interesting because we've never really had a proper horror superhero film.
What's really funny is the Flash movie, way before James Gunn and Peter Safran were ever even involved, Flash movie was slated to soft reset the universe anyway.
Because they knew they fucked up.
So when they got hired, they're like, oh, fuck, this upcoming film, which is a giant tentpole, is going to soft reboot for us?
So I have one more thing that I want to point out. Flash comes out before Blue Beetle and Aquaman.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
But they're not considered part of the DCU?
We'll have to see.
We'll have
They
to
said
see.
they were talking about like a potential for Aquaman 3, so maybe he's also staying.
I think he is. I hope he does.
And they were saying, they being James and Peter, were saying, oh, hey, we're going to have Elseworlds labeled for everything else that isn't in our universe. And those ideas will come around every so often, just rarer. So you'll get your oddball Matt Reeves Batman, oddball Joker film. Someone will pitch and they'll occasionally greenlight it, but they're going to focus most of their efforts on the universe. I'm glad that Joker and Batman got made before this decision because they have less of a chance of getting greenlit then.
That sounds very concerning, actually.
It does, because the quote Elseworlds content is infinitely higher quality than their content.
Yeah, all too, but let's not,
Yeah, but you're batting 2 for 2 instead of 2 for 12.
But if you greenlit every single Elseworld pitch, they would not be as high quality as Batman and Joker. You'd get a bunch of random bullshit. You get the Uwe Bolls in there. So I'm glad they're being a little more selective.
When's Michael Bay's Lobo coming out? So
yeah, you'd get
starring
Michael Bay's
Jason Momoa.
fucking Lobo.
Remember that fucking wild ass rumor that Gunn wanted to recast Momoa as Lobo?
That would be hilarious.
That's weird.
it is weird.
That was a thing. Everyone was talking about it like it was already confirmed for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what the stupid thing is, with how the Flash could reboot something and change the path of a person, they could literally be like Arthur, and it's like, who? I'm Lobo, and then he eats a metal rod or something, 'cause I think that's what he does.
I guess my small victory is, hey, Blue Beetle didn't get canceled. I'm excited. I want to see that movie.
Hey,
I like Blue Beetle.
I also like Blue Beetle. I really hope all these films get made. I really hope all these shows get made.
I feel like we're in a very similar state to before the slate was announced, where, okay, interesting if it actually pans out this way.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that was something we talked about initially, was if he just comes out and just says just gives me names.
Here are these 10
I'm going to be the
things.
exact same place I was. But if, we got some people attached, then it's a little bit, ooh, maybe. Swamp Thing. Ooh, James Mangold might be attached. I have more interest in that than I do in The Brave and the Bold.
Right, because you have names attached. You have a trusted
Yeah,
director.
or Lanterns. I have a description for what I can expect from the show. Ooh, that sounds
And it sounds fun.
And it sounds interesting. And it doesn't sound pedantic like Paradise Lost does. I don't see how Themyscira can lend itself to being Game of Thrones-esque. It's one culture on one island. What brings Game of Thrones alive is fucking assholes who don't get along and scheming to try to get one up on each other. But the Amazonians have always kind of been a collective.
Yeah.
So if the only thing that happened was that Warner just swapped out management to James Gunn, I would be exactly as pessimistic as I was a year ago, if not sooner. But since Warner was burned to the ground and then rose from the ashes into a new Discovery-esque company, and then they put new management in, that changes how I feel, because my main issue has been with Warner, not so much the leadership in charge of DC specifically. I don't think that's necessarily... I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of egg on them. They hired Zack Snyder. They kept him for 3 films. That's on them. 2.5. But now I feel like everything's clean slate.
Don't say that. We'll get the fucking Snyderverse bros down our throat.
Oh, no. Bots on Twitter.
Engagement. Yay.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, holy shit.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that people are like, this is awful. This isn't Zack's vision, bro. Zack's vision sucked.
Zack's vision sucked. And not for nothing.
He was 1 for 3.
James Gunn said they can greenlight Elseworlds stuff, so that just incentivizes the bots on Twitter to say, hey, greenlight the Snyderverse or whatever.
One thing that we haven't talked about yet is Gunn said this isn't everything for Chapter 1.
Right. There's
That's
still more.
fucking crazy.
That is.
This is this is basically the equivalency of Phase 4, which is the most bloated phase in the MCU.
However,
But this is stretched across some time.
only
We don't have the
the
set
film
dates. Yeah.
and the first show have dates, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. As long
No,
as
sorry, just the film.
Yeah.
Okay.
which isn't so bad. You know, that gives us time to
Right.
digest everything, because the big problem with Phase 4 is it was a lot of shit at once.
Yeah.
Listen,
Mm.
Lanterns, Swamp Thing, and Batman or Superman, I don't know, either of those two, are the three that I'm the most excited for. I'm the most excited for a show over a film that never happens.
So we are committed to commentating over the DCEU. DCU is not rebooted, so that means that we're locked in with these movies. And I would extend the olive branch to the first 3 of the shows.
I'd extend the olive branch to Lanterns.
Lanterns completely, because
Maybe Booster Gold.
No, I mean the first 3 episodes of each. Because
We're watching all of Lanterns.
Yeah, we did Peacemaker
watching
that way. We can do Lanterns 100% because it's Ian Mello.
That's me.
Maybe Booster Gold too, if it's good.
It depends. Which is episode 3. Like, no.
If we're talking top 3s, I'm going with Lanterns, Swamp Thing, and Supergirl.
I'd go Lanterns, Superman Legacy because I want to see what it is, and probably Brave and the Bold so we can get a Robin live action at all. That isn't, what's his name, Chris O'Donnell?
The guy from NCIS
Yeah,
Los
the
Angeles.
only other guy. Has
Damn,
ever been
I'm
Robin.
just going to say, Ian, you guys shit on me for Green Lantern a little bit. What's the top one most anticipated between all 3 of us?
Wow, it's almost like it's the project with the most detail.
I'd say Superman and Batman both have quite a bit of detail as well.
Yeah, they're my other 2 of the 3.
Yeah. I'm Swamp Thing all the way, baby.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
also Swamp Thing.
I just got Man Thing in the what the hell is it? The special presentation of Werewolf by Night. He was a major character in that. Excited for more of that. Let's go. But yeah.
But I'm just excited for Lanterns because yes.
So we're still in the wait and see. Let's see how the first project is.
I'm excited for Lanterns because it's hitting a good niche between stuff I haven't seen before in this universe and stuff that I recognize.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
will say this. Creature Commandos is poised to be the first one because it's already in production.
Yep.
There's a lot of expectations on this one show because you know that if this show is not great, people are going to start bagging on the whole universe's direction. Catch you guys next time for even more of our yelling and stuff.